startup economy evolved. The ecosystems are far more diverse today than they were 18 years ago when we started. Young Indian entrepreneurs have leveraged the power of technology to create sharp B2C and B2B brands across a wide range of sectors. Startups have not only created new categories, markets and niches, they've also helped formalize and organize sectors that have largely been fragmented. Many startups are building for India and many are using the learnings from India to build for the world. The global aspiration of young Indian entrepreneurs has been an interesting trend to track, along with the focus on ideas to address the needs of the large middle India opportunity.
The COVID-19 pandemic has had an unprecedented effect on Indian businesses, more so the SMEs and startups.
Startup ecosystem rankings. India's startup ecosystem was ranked 17th in 2019 and has fallen 6 places to rank 23rd in 2020. Also, Bangalore, which has India's strongest startup ecosystem, saw its ranking decline from 11th in 2019 to 14th in 2020, while Delhi's ranking improved by 3 positions and is now just behind Bangalore at 15th. There are 195 countries in the world. That means that India's startup ecosystem is in the top 12% of all startup ecosystems. And that's not bad at all. But I also see that 12% as room for improvement. According to Startup Link's report, if India wants to improve its ranking, it's going to need to focus on strengthening its top 3 startup cities, that's Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai, while also strengthening and enabling the other 35 cities here in India that are ranked in the top 1,000 cities in the world. India can accomplish this by providing better regulations and infrastructure and also removing barriers to entry for budding entrepreneurs.
India has now become the 3rd position in the world for its startup ecosystem. But because of this COVID-19 situation, businesses have been facing various kinds of challenges in order to survive in the market. Startups, being the most vulnerable, have been facing issues in their daily operations of the business. According to the nationwide survey, 70% of the startups have been facing disruptions in their operations, and 12% of the startups have already stopped their daily operations of business after this outbreak. In this situation, the investors are also facing issues in evaluating the startups, which make their investments to be on hold, and the funds for the startups are being paused. As we all know, India receives major investments from the international companies and corporates, out of which China was a major holder of the investments. But the amendments in the FDI policy by the government of India made it really difficult for the foreign investors to invest in India. Currently, 60% of the startups are operating, but they are facing disruptions in their operations, which made their revenue to be on decline. Venture capitalists also tightened their investment criteria, which made really difficult for the startups to raise their funds for their operations. Now, startups are on the verge for the government intervention in order to survive in the market and implement various kinds of strategies and policies by the government in order to help them.
Startup space, what's to my mind the most worrying is the cash reserves, because the figures as we see them are 38% of the startups have said that they only have cash reserves for their organizational fixed costs to support 1 to 3 months, and 19% have only 0 to 1 month of cash reserves. So over half, 57% run out of money in 3 months. Now, unless they have the money to run, and they're doing this despite the salary scale backs and cutbacks.
What you need to look at is the 0 to 25 crore type of companies. Those are the startups that are really, really struggling. And as the survey shows, 12% are pretty much dead, 20% are in ICU, and the rest will be going there pretty soon. So I think the real issue here is that they're desperately short of working capital.
We are not competing against banks normally, right? So it's either equity or venture debt. Usually banks are not in the fray. So this is an asset class where it's still giving good returns for investors. What matters is the entrepreneurial ecosystem good? Is there venture capital dry powder? Are people feeling comfortable about the venture ecosystem? That's what drives our success.
Yeah, but what's happening on the ecosystem that's actually benefiting from this crisis?
How do you think we can recover from a situation like this?